friend Ryder Christofferson here again with another first listen review. This one I was actually been looking forward to for quite a while. I heard it was coming out a couple months ago. It is the new release from Trevor Rabin entitled RIO. Not too original. There was another band I think somewhere in the past. I think they had that title. I'm not sure who that was, but I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. But anyway, yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I've been listening to Trevor Rabin like since 90125, like a lot of us probably have. That was the first time I ever heard of him, way back in my early high school days when that album came out. This is one of those albums that I played all the time, so I've pretty much followed everything he's done since then, except for all the soundtrack albums. I have a few of those, but not all of them. They get a little bit away from what I fell in love with them with, but they're fun. Some of them are fun to have. He's done a ton of them though, but he does a lot of soundtrack albums. But anyway, he's had a few releases here and there. Last one he had out was all instrumental, and this one is back to like everything, full vocal and full band and all that fun stuff. Although he plays almost every instrument on it. I had not listened to anything that came out ahead of time. I didn't listen to any of the singles that were released. I just wanted to listen to this album as a whole. Sometimes I find that when I listen to stuff ahead of time, I don't know, it gives us the wrong impression of what the whole overall album is, and this is kind of one I thought was going to be an overall album experience, and I was right in doing that, I think. He plays drums actually on half the album too. The only other extra musicians he has on this, he's got Lou Molino playing drums and percussion on 4 of the tracks, a little bit of backing vocals on 1. Vinny Calutia, I know I said that wrong. Percussion on track 2 and drums, and these are violin on track 2 by Charlie Basharat, and then he's got some background vocals on tracks 1 and 4 by Dante Marchi and Liz Constantine. Otherwise, everything else on here is him, and it's insanely good. I'm just going to get right to the point. This album is really good. Right from the start, it kind of kicks in with probably what I would have thought would have been the most obvious choice for a first single, which is called Big Mistakes. It's got this cool little drum thing going on that seems like it's out of time with the way the music starts. It took me a while to get into the song to figure out what the actual groove was. It was so odd. Sounds like the drum's playing a different time signature than what the guitar is playing, but somehow it all falls together. And it's a pop song, but somehow it sounds intricate at the same time. I don't know how he does it, but it sounded great. His singing on this album is amazing too. Tons and tons of vocals, tons of harmonies, layers, everything. It's insane how much work went into the vocals alone on this, and he sounds great. And then I guess what was one of the singles, this next song, Push, sounds like the most progressive thing I think I've ever heard him do. It's the guitar work. He's got just this cool style of playing, but the guitar work and the keyboard work, how it just intertwines, and then how somehow he comes up with a cool melody over the top of it is just mind-boggling to me. And this sounds like the most progressive thing on here, but still catchy. It's just, I don't know how he does it. It just, I'm like gushing over this album already, but that was pretty cool. Then the next couple ones get a little bit more mellow, but they're still cool. A lot of vocal stuff going on in there. And like I was saying about his guitar work, he has a style that's it's hard to describe. He just has this way of like mixing effects with the guitar and just playing like very rhythmic leads, and they sound, I mean, think of stuff like Owner of a Lonely Heart has that weird guitar solo in it, which sounds like just a lot of noise sometimes, but somehow it fits. He does that on here. Actually, on Big Mistakes, he did the same type of thing, but it sounded a lot more melodic than it did in Owner of a Lonely Heart, but still sounded great. And Thandy was another one that I was like super impressed with. It's really upbeat, cool, rock and progressive type song. It does a lot of the same stuff. Now, the one that caught me off guard was Goodbye. It's got this chicken picking countryish thing going on, and then it kind of swerves into like a little bit of a pop and then a little bit of progressive all intertwined, and then the sound of the guitar kind of changes towards the end where it's like a really processed type of sound, like maybe off of like talk, but it's still chicken picking going on at the same time. It was kind of crazy how that one all worked. And then he really shows off his vocal ability to write vocal melodies and harmonies and tumbleweed. That starts out a lot all acoustic or a cappella, I mean, and progresses a little bit from there, but still just amazing how intricate the vocal interplay is on that one. And then These Tears is a kind of a chill song, and still a lot of vocal stuff going on there, a little bit of a jazzier type of number. Like, this album has got a little bit of everything for everybody on here. So if you're a fan of the stuff that he's done, in the rock aspect and the prog and jazz and a little bit of country-ish chicken picking, you're going to get all of that on here. It's pretty cool. And track 9, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, even though they sang it through the entire song. Igoli had a really cool African type feel to it, which I believe Trevor is African now that I think about it. Yeah, he's definitely African. So, I didn't even realize that till just now. So that kind of makes sense that he would do something like that. But it had a really cool, just a chanting type thing going on through it. Really, it was an upbeat song, so it was pretty cool. And then it ends with another rock tune called Toxic, where he shows off his chops and just ends it on a high note. So the album's got a really cool flow. It starts out with probably the catchiest song, then it keeps it upbeat and goes down a little bit, goes back up again, down, and then back up again. So I mean, it's got a cool flow to it. It doesn't start out all high energy and then end on a lull like some albums tend to do, but I thought this was pretty cool. And he shows off his production skills, because if I'm not mistaken, I believe the album Talk was produced by him, and I think it has the distinction of being the first album ever recorded completely digitally, if I'm right. Can you fact check me on that one, because I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what the deal is with that one. But I really enjoyed this album, definitely worth the wait. Some of the songs stood out a little bit more to me than others, like I mentioned here, like Big Mistakes, Thandy, and probably Toxic are my favorites, so like all spaced out throughout the whole album there. But also one of those albums that makes me want to check out some of his previous work. I know I've got some of the stuff from Rabbit, and I've got a couple of other solo things too, so I haven't listened to those in a while, so this is the kind of album that when you hear it, it makes you want to pull out that old stuff and check it out too. So definitely digging it. So anyway, feel free to comment as always down below and tell me what you guys thought of it, or think of it, and like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.